You want to know one of the main problems in the African American community? And this is just an observation coming from a white dude in his mid 30s. But this problem, it only seems to be prevalent in the black community. I've never understood this. The problem I'm talking about is this mentality, this expectation, this unwritten rule that black people are not allowed to be critical of other black people. More specifically, black men are not allowed to criticize black women. If you do, then you're going to get blasted for having the audacity to have an opinion. Case in point, what's going down right now between Emmanuel Akko and Ryan Clark. Most of you probably have no idea who the hell these people are. Some of you might know Ryan Clark. Emmanuel Akko, I doubt it. I'm a diehard NFL guy. I hadn't even heard of Emmanuel Akko until I saw this story on Barrett Sports Media just a couple of hours ago. Let me give you a brief breakdown of what happened. Emmanuel Akko, he basically echoed my sentiments in yesterday's video about Sha'Carri Richardson. He and we see eye to eye on this issue when it comes to the behavior, the antics of Sha'Carri Richardson. After she finished last place over the weekend, Emmanuel Akko tweeted, quote, "You can't tell people they gotta see me in a race, then be behind them the whole time. They literally can't see you," end quote. What about that statement is wrong? What did he say that was wrong? The last few weeks, Sha'Carri Richardson has done nothing but talk about how great she is, how she's making history, how she is the best sprinter in the world. She's doing all this talking without accomplishing anything first. Then after all the talking, she goes and finishes last place. Last place. Emmanuel Akko's right. It's hard for your opponents to see you when you're trailing behind them. They would have to break their necks turning around to see Sha'Carri Richardson, the damn caboose of the race. Ryan Clark took exception with Emmanuel Akko's comments, because of that unwritten rule, that problem I told you about, where it's unacceptable for a black man to criticize or to call out a black woman. Here's Ryan Clark's response to Emmanuel Akko, quote, "Doubling down on this hate for Sha'Carri Richardson, huh? Not sure what she did to you, but dang, I hope you bring her in for some of those comfortable ass conversations you have. Those folks seem to get a ton more grace from you. Just seems odd you go at this young sister so often," end quote. Emmanuel Akko has a show, Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man. That's what Ryan Clark was talking about with the comfortable ass conversations comment. There's so many other issues here, though, with this tweet. The first stems from the fact that his insinuation is, in order for a black man to attack someone within their own race, they have to be personally affected or attacked by that person. You can't have an opinion. You can't be critical of someone within your own race just because they do something that you disagree with. This is another example of trying to silence speech. Keep your criticisms to yourself. Ryan Clark, he says he finds it odd that Emmanuel Akko is often critical of Sha'Carri Richardson. Well, I find it strange that Ryan Clark is not critical of her. Like I said yesterday, I defended Sha'Carri Richardson after she was suspended for smoking weed. But I can't defend her behavior the last few weeks, and I damn sure can't defend her behavior after that race Saturday. See, that's where the problem with this mentality comes in. This mentality, people like Ryan Clark are living by. According to him, it doesn't matter what Sha'Carri Richardson does. It doesn't matter how she carries herself, how she behaves. She's protected. And the only reason that she is protected is because of her race and her gender. This is where the woke agenda completely falls apart. Supposedly, the entire premise is based on equality. Now, how are you practicing equality when you protect one specific race, one specific gender from any and all criticism? But everybody else, they are open to be criticized and canceled. It just doesn't make any sense. Marcellus Wiley, he decided to enter this debate, if you want to call it that, and he went after Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark's response to Marcellus Wiley was typical jaded nonsense. Quote, Marcellus, I don't address you because you're always on brand. She is a young black woman who is dealing very publicly. Emmanuel Akko has built a brand in being a black man with a public forum of grace extended to white people. End quote. What Ryan Clark means when he says Marcellus Wiley is always on brand, he is accusing Marcellus Wiley of thinking for himself. He's calling him out for not doing what he believes black people are supposed to do, and that is bow their knee to the agenda. And what is this whole grace extended to white people thing? Are you kidding me? White people in this country, we can't say anything without wokers like Ryan Clark whining and complaining about it, trying to cancel us. Stephen A. Smith was accused of being racist against Shohei Ohtani last month. He's hosting Jimmy Kimmel Live tonight. He got a promotion. Jack Morris used some bad accent when he was actually being complimental of Shohei Ohtani. He gets fired from his job. Why? Because Jack Morris had the misfortune of being born with white skin. This mentality that we're talking about, where you're not allowed to be critical of people in your own race, this is not an issue with other races. You think I'm going to hold back from calling out Megan Rapinoe because she's a white woman? No. You think I'm going to hold back calling out Max Kellerman because he's mentally handicapped? No. Chris Rock made a career making fun of black people and white people. Hell, Chris Rock made fun of everyone. If he were just starting out today, Chris Rock would never make it because people like Ryan Clark would want him canceled for making fun of his own race. This mentality is actually detrimental to black people. It does not help. It hurts. If Sha'Carri Richardson is not held accountable for her actions, then how in the hell is she ever going to learn anything? How is she going to grow? This is a collectivist mentality. If someone like Emmanuel Akko calls out Sha'Carri Richardson, these people act like he is criticizing every black woman in America. I don't understand this, why it's an unwritten rule for a black man to criticize a black woman. Then people wonder why we have so many entitled athletes in this country. This is why. Sha'Carri Richardson is a prime example of what you get when you hand someone fame and fortune without them having to work for it, and then you refuse to call them out when they're wrong. Maria Taylor is another example. Maria Taylor demanded $8 million a year from ESPN. The media thought she deserved it. How? Someone please explain to me, what made Maria Taylor worth $8 million? Nothing, besides the fact that she was a black woman. If you're like me and you're critical of Maria Taylor, you're a racist or a misogynist. When the truth is, Maria Taylor is replaceable, and replaceable people aren't making $8 million a year. This mentality where black people always have to defend other black people, it forces them into a box. Everyone has to think alike. Everyone must agree. That is just not realistic. It's impossible, actually. It makes everyone predictable. When an issue like this comes up, I can automatically tell you we're the Stephen A. Smiths of the world, or in this case, Ryan Clark. I can automatically tell you the position they're going to take. They're agenda-driven. They're going to follow the movement. If you're a black man, you're not allowed to agree with me because I'm white. If you do agree with me, people like Ryan Clark, they're going to call you out for it, for showing me grace. He's an Uncle Tom. Sha'Carri Richardson deserved to be called out for her behavior. She deserved it. Emmanuel Akko was right. Ryan Clark is the problem. He works at ESPN, so his view on this is not surprising. Much like CNN, people like Ryan Clark at ESPN, they are told what they're going to say. Just ask Stephen A. Smith about it. All right, time to let me know what you think. Give me your thoughts on this unwritten rule, this ridiculous unwritten rule in the black community, where you are not allowed to criticize other black people, and you're damn sure not allowed to be critical of black women. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.